Sunday catch-up video. It was so good to be under the same roof with you all again, wasn't it? It was such a good evening, and yeah, thank you for coming along. And we're going to be doing this every Sunday evening from 7 to 8:15, socially distanced youth gathering for anyone in years 6 to 13. So do come along if you're able to. We'd love to see you there. So yeah, I'm just going to do a quick 5-minute recap of what we talked about with the practices for you this week at the end as well. Yeah, I don't know if your prayer life has ever sounded like this. This is from Lamentations chapter 5. It says this: "But you rule forever, Lord. You will be king from now on. Why have you forgotten us for so long? Have you left us forever? Bring us back to you, Lord, and we will return. Make our days as they were before. Or have you completely rejected us? Are you so angry with us?" Perhaps bits of this passage are familiar. Actually, maybe you're used to praising God and telling him that he's king, but some of the lines sound very unfamiliar, perhaps even a little bit uncomfortable. This is from the book of Lamentations, a book full of laments, and lamenting is about passionately expressing our grief and our regret or disappointment about something. Why are we talking about this book? Well, through studying Lamentations and learning to pray like this, we can learn to see the discipline and practice of lament as an important spiritual exercise that brings our anger and our pain and our confusion to God, trusting that he cares about it too. And we are in a season of unprecedented levels of anger and pain and confusion and fear and anxiety. We're experiencing great amounts of stress and loss. And we just wanted to say on Sunday night, and I'll say it again, that you guys are amazing and to keep going. And we are here to be praying for you and supporting you. We can get through this pandemic together. And I think God invites us throughout seasons like this to be really real and honest about the current situation, to call it out and to name it for what it is. This is difficult. We're perhaps not very good at this. And if you think about the way we go about our life, it's no surprise why. If we walk into a church building, for example, we are met with lots of happy people singing happy clappy songs, praising God for how good he is. And then there's a preacher that has absolutely never had any doubts in God whatsoever. And he's passionate and preaching and telling us about how good God is. And then over coffee, we ask each other after the service how we're doing. And we all say, yeah, good. We're doing all right. Thank you. Or if we look on social media, you know, everyone is doing great on Instagram, aren't they? They're living their best life. But the reality is actually, in all of these situations, we're not as doing as well as we maybe present on the surface. You know, what would it look like in church if we sung songs of lament, like in Lamentations, or if during coffee we actually did go a little bit deeper and just really shared what's really going on in our lives? I wonder if we were a little bit more honest about what's going on underneath, if maybe we actually would create space for growth, that we would be able to deal with some of this stuff. It's not just these sort of Instagram accounts or church, it's also in our own lives. I think it's very easy for us to put on a front and to say that we are doing well, when really underneath we've got loads of questions or doubts or struggles. God wants us to be real about our struggles and doubts. We can't move forward in our faith unless we are able to deal with some of the underlying stuff that's going on inside of us. That fear that I am not good enough, I need to voice that so that God can tell me otherwise. That underlying anxiety, I need to be brave and call it out in order to begin dealing with it. The questions I have about whether God is actually there or if he's actually good or not, I need to ask them and go on a journey of wrestling for the answers. Otherwise, I would just be stuck there. I would never be able to get past them. Actually, by calling out and dealing with this stuff, I want to suggest that we find Jesus there. We encounter him in the place of doubt and struggling. If you think about his greatest moment of suffering on the cross, he came to the point of crying out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" He felt abandoned by God. I want to suggest then that we encounter Jesus in our weakness, in our pain, in our questions and doubts and sufferings. We join him on the cross, and it's painful, yes, but it's the next step towards experiencing resurrection and new life and hope and freedom. So can we learn to practice the spiritual discipline, the practice of lamenting? In other words, just telling God what is actually going on, not putting up a front, not praying the good Christian prayers, but just being real and honest with our Creator who knows what's going on with us anyway.